GamersNexus visits Newegg. All right, y'all. So let me give a short summary, as I always do, for those that may not know. Steve got something from Newegg open box, never opened it, returned it. Newegg claimed he damaged it. Steve's like, WTF? I never even opened the damn thing. I put the return label on and shipped it back. Steve tweeted about it. All of a sudden, Newegg cared. They sent the thing back and gave him his money. So actually, as of right now, he's doing pretty well. He got his money back and a broken motherboard. He could probably ship that to Crypto Shaped and he'll fix it for him. So this revealed other issues with the company and a lot of other people getting scammed in the same way with open box products. So since all that, they had their inner exchange, and Steve actually already had plans to visit California to get training on other types of equipment and stuff. So he and his team decided to make that trip longer and visit Newegg. He advised Newegg that he was going to be coming with cameras at such and such a date and time. Newegg agreed to this initially, but during the trip on his way there, before he got there, Newegg started going back and forth, going, well, you know, cameras are not allowed. Anyways, going to the point, they showed up at the door. They're like, yeah, you can't bring cameras in until we get a conference room. And he's like, no, we'll point it at the ground or something. And the guy's like, okay, no cameras. And they said all these sly comments and all that. But instead of doing all that, Steve and them all were prepared. You know, if they say no, what are we going to do? If they try to arrest us, what are they going to do? If they call the cops, what are we going to do? They were all prepared for these scenarios. So they eventually got to the boardroom. They sat down with 4 people from Newegg, and one of them was the CFO, I think. What was his name? It was let's see, I put it in my notes here somewhere. Oh, looks like I didn't. Oh, I took it out. Yeah, okay. So they basically, the reason I took it out, the three people in there, and one of them was like a chief, a CFO or something like that. The other 3 were people that weren't with the company for a long time. Why, we don't exactly know, but it kind of looked like it was like a PR stunt. Anyway, so I watched the 1-hour meeting they had with them and listened to the review from GamersNexus at the end, and I did a quick analysis on it. So the whole time, at least for the first half, there's this term in industry called media training or publicity training or getting ready for debate. It's basically training you get to know what to say to basically give a non-answer, right? So Andrew, ask me a controversial question.
Do you prefer NVIDIA or AMD GPUs?
I think they're both great companies, but it would really depend on what the situation is at the time. You see how I didn't answer the question? I just pivoted. Yeah. So basically, that's what they did. So they basically answered no questions, pivoted, and gave a bunch of really carefully chosen words and statements in the first half. Now, in the second half, it got a little better because it looks like everyone's nerves calmed down and all that. I mean, there's some big head honchos, right? So in the second half, things got a little bit better, you know, but Newegg seemed to be very concerned about getting in trouble, and they were all very worried about something. They still kept using carefully chosen words. They made basically no commitments to anything, and they told Steve about all these things they're doing and how they messed up. So this is another common tactic, going, yes, we had issues, and now we're fixing them, which deflects from the point that there are issues, right? Because it sounds like, oh, wow, they're actually working on it. They're doing well. Now, before we get deeper into this, I want to be very clear. I want Newegg to do better because I do not want Amazon to be a monopoly. Or any other, like Tiger. Let's get Tiger Direct back. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like we should have, huh? CompUSA. They used to be a physical store too. That was sad. I remember going there as a kid. Anyways, competition in the marketplace is not a bad thing for us. Okay, all right, it might be bad for the companies, but at the end of the day, it's good for the consumer. And you know me, I'm all about the consumer. You guys saw my Octominer video. It wasn't all stars and roses. Okay, I had issues and I was honest about it. So that's very important to me about being good for the consumer, as long as I get paid, of course. Anyways, moving on. So it seems that Newegg really is concerned about their public appearance, but after the meeting was over and all was said and done, there was some updates that they actually did enact. So for one, they made a new account for accepting returns or, contacting them about issues called returns.issue@newegg.com. That's a new email address that they made for that specific purpose. They expanded their no hassle returns policy to both OpenBox. Sorry, that was already on OpenBox products, but they expanded it from CPU bent pins to all products of their return policy. It's expanded to everything now. But this kind of gets me to my last thing, then I'll read chat, whatever. It seems Newegg is only changing because they got caught. So imagine this never happened to Steve, right? It's very possible they still be doing the exact same thing today. Okay.
To everyone else. Yeah.
To everyone else. And I mean, I'm glad that they got caught, but also sad that they got caught because it kind of confirms the fact that they're doing this because they got caught, not because they care. So only time will tell if they will change. Now, I'm kind of being hard on Newegg because honestly, they don't have a reason to not be nice to us, right? They don't have a reason to be nice to us, rather, because they got the stuff we want, and if we don't like it, good luck, Chuck, right? I really want them to be a better company. I really want them to be what they used to be almost 10 years ago, 5 years ago. It's only recently they started
to be old egg, right? Old
yeah.
Egg.
I want them to be the old egg that I remember, man. Like my experience with them has never been amazing, at least in my experience. There's always been, it's never been like, oh wow, I'm gonna shop here. The only place I had amazing experience, quite frankly, is Amazon. And every time I wanted to return something, they never gave me problems, almost to the point of abuse, but not really. Like,
yeah, that's such like a sigh of relief when there's just like no resistance on a return. It's the norm is that sometimes they're kind of a pain to do a return. But Newegg just takes that to the whole next level by denying it and like blaming you for like stuff you totally didn't do. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm sure they're going to change policies for the better, but that still is kind of like getting away with it. Everything that they've done up to this point is just everyone is supposed to be like, oh, okay, no big deal. They changed now. And that's just not okay. They still need to be held responsible for what they've done in the past. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say about it, honestly. This is going to tarnish their reputation no matter what fix they implement. And I think it should, honestly, I'd rather be buying from like someone I don't know than from Newegg at this point. I'd rather take my chances on like a brand new web store that I've never even heard of just to not buy from Newegg, which, a bad reputation is worse than no reputation.
Like a bad credit score.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like a bad credit score, maybe NVIDIA can improve it slowly over time with, putting in effort to do so. But, it's going to have to be more than just, these fixes now are really damage control to their reputation, not anything because they want to fix the real problem. They want to fix their reputation, going down real quick. They're well aware that social media is such a powerful force in this era. So yeah, it's all about optics and spinning this into a positive instead of a negative. But it's really up to you guys, the consumers, including us. If we don't buy from Newegg, they'll have to do something to get us back. And just saying, oh yeah, we have a returns department now that actually takes returns isn't enough for me.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, money's the ultimate motivator, right? All of a sudden, if you tax something, people will do less of it. All of a sudden, if a company starts making less money, all of a sudden they want to change. But when a company is being very healthy and making a lot of money and selling exploding power supplies bundled and stuff, it really shows where that company's going. Honestly, like, I understand they're a publicly traded company, right? They're not a private company anymore. And they got to worry about their share. Are they not? I believe they are a public company now. That's what. Anyways,
Okay.
Regardless of that fact or not, I understand that a business is there to make money, but at the end of the day, all right. So let me just give a quick story, and we'll move on to the last part. So we all know Boeing, right? Okay. For those that work in aviation, so I work in the manufacturing division of aviation on some sides. There used to be a saying that says, if it ain't Boeing, I ain't going. Okay? They were a company known for safety and innovation. But when Boeing got bought, had a merger and got bought out by basically a finance company a long time ago, their stock price tanked. And then guess what? Their CEOs and all their new board of directors and everything, first goal, make that stock price go up. Cut hours, cut safety things, all these type of things. And guess what? That led to a couple of years ago where we had the failure of the attack of angle sensor, which caused the MCAS system to make the plane go into the ground. We killed 500 people. Not we, sorry. Boeing killed 500 people, okay? And to this day, they are basically not criminally liable. They just paid a fine and brushed it off. So I'm not trying to say this in like a callous way, but rather it seems to me whenever a company of any kind gets involved with any type of financial organization is when things go downhill. For example, Blizzard, Activision, okay? Chinese bought them and another finance company owns them, and now they're not as amazing as they used to be. You can see it because they start taking their old products and reskinning them. Boeing had to fight against Airbus because of their new fuel-efficient plane. Instead of making a brand new plane, which takes 10 to 15 years, they just took their 737 and called it 737 MAX. They put new engines on it and stuff and all this other things. But essentially, they just reskinned the new plane. So with that, just kind of like how with Newegg, they're making money. And when the central focus becomes money, I'm sorry, I have not in my life ever seen a situation where when money has become the primary focus, that anything has gotten better. Give me a situation example. I've never seen it. It's only eventually gotten worse and ended in disaster. So, with that said, why don't people get it that if you are good to the customer and they trust you, it doesn't matter how much it costs because you got that customer for life, right? Like, I don't know, Andrew, would you go to a company that treated you like crap but gave you a lower price? I mean, I know a lot of people would, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't.
I mean, I wouldn't be like a regular, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd only go there if it's like advantageous. It was something I'm not worried about returning. Like, I don't mind paying a little bit more for the safety and comfort of knowing they're going to take care of me if something goes wrong, right? Like,
it's like, I'll keep buying my tools at Sears because they got that live. Wait, what? Sears doesn't exist.
Sears doesn't exist anymore.
Oh man, when did that happen? Okay. No, but like that's the thing too. Like Craftsman Tools got bought up by a company, reliability went down, and it was up to the consumer if they wanted to keep buying Craftsman because it wasn't the company that they basically like the mindset. Oh, I'll buy Craftsman Tools because they're made in the USA and they have a lifetime warranty. When that changes, the customer has to reevaluate if they're still going to buy Craftsman Tools.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there was actually a lawsuit where when Craftsman basically went Chinese, lowered their quality, and when someone broke their American-made tool to come in, they would give them that Chinese one. There was actually a lawsuit, class action lawsuit, saying you can't do that. And because of that, they bought back something called the Craftsman Pro Series, which is the thing it used to be, except they're made in America. So that's a nice story you want to look into as well. CPP Tech says, money is the root of all evil, the love of money. Yeah, that's actually like a Bible quote almost. The love of money is the root of all evil. Not money itself. It's the love of it.
You not love money? Oh, never mind. Forget it. No.
I mean, I don't want to say that publicly, man. Come on, people are going to think I'm some kind of scam, dude. Wait, is Nvidia still paying? I can't tell. That money pot's a little empty lately, so I gotta go poke Mr. CEO there. His leather jacket must be getting too tight around him. Yeah, so that's my final thoughts on Newegg, guys. I honestly want more competition in the marketplace because that's good for you and me as a consumer. Because remember, guys, I'm not that far different from you. Neither is Andrew. I still have to buy almost all my stuff. I've only been sponsored for 2 things. And those sponsors weren't even really a sponsor. They just kind of sent it. And I gave my honest opinion, right? Everything else that you've seen on our channel has been paid for with real money that I worked real jobs for. Okay, even all my GPUs, I had to freeze my butt off in the cold in February last year to get those. Like, everything I have is with real money that I worked hard for. Well, hard sometimes, you know, just make that very clear.
When it comes to like buying something, like if Amazon has it for the same price and it shows up in 2 days, or like you know, you have like a local computer shop maybe that has it for the same price too in town. You know, if I were faced with that situation, I'd be supporting local businesses. The thing is, like, Amazon is so convenient, it almost negates, like, it just removes your impulse to do any critical thinking, and you're just impulsive and you say, you know, you pull the trigger, you click, and it's in your cart and it's at your door. Like normally that amount of time you'd spend trying to decide, with Amazon, it's that amount of time where it's at your door. So,
and if you don't like it, you could just return it.
Yeah, I would encourage just like take the time to see what your options are. You know, if you can support like a local business, like I try and give my money to Micro Center. I wish it were a little bit closer, but they have very competitive prices.
They actually do.
CPUs, Intel CPUs are like always cheaper than Amazon. They're
their bundles are really
to
good
make
too.
It like, yeah, and they give you discounts the more stuff you buy, it seems. So, not to mention like all the in-house stuff that they have that is a really good product for a really good price. But you know, if I start just buying all my stuff on Amazon because it's convenient, and everyone who shops at Micro Center does the same, then there'll be no more Micro Center, and you know, who are we left with? So on the website of things as it is, you know, Newegg is like the big other tech marketplace. So, you know, if we start giving all that lost revenue that Newegg's going to miss out on to Amazon, then we're still kind of crushing the little guys.
Exactly. I think this Newegg saga is not over, right? We're gonna see if they, you know, basically, you know how they basically skipped all commitments and stuff, but we'll see what they do with their actions in the coming, you know, months and stuff. I know Steve from GamersNexus is gonna keep track of it, and he's even said himself that he's gonna use ways to where they can't figure out who he is to order stuff later from now and to see if they changed.